how the U.S. Special Forces infiltrated Venezuela.
How do you capture a high-value target when the whole world is watching? You create a masterclass in deception. The CIA set the stage with a single building as bait and filled the sky with 150 aircraft to create a deafening sonic shield for the helicopters to drop Delta forces.
You're lying. They used jets to air deafen everybody so that nobody knew what was going on? That's f***ing genius.
F-35s lit up the perimeter.
Yo, Warren, thank you for the message. Appreciate.
By the time
thank you for the message. Am I fried? We thanking for messages now?
Settled, the helicopters had already touched down and Maduro was gone. We'll also look at how the U.S. uses the F-35 jets and its Navy to launch a large-scale attack, all in the video ahead. In the dead of night that is 2 in the morning, the lights went out in Caracas. By 5 a.m., the president of Venezuela was gone.
How do they know
how
this?
The U.S. played in deception games. While the whole world were focused on the aircraft carriers in the Caribbean, a shadow war was being fought on the ground. This wasn't an invasion, it was a surgical extraction.
Yo, Chicago,
we
thank you for the 10
finally
months.
have the declassified timeline of how U.S. forces breached the heart of Caracas and extracted Nicolas Maduro. Let's start with step 1. The setup. This didn't happen overnight. For months, the U.S. had been tightening a naval quarantine around Venezuela. The U.S. Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group and the U.S. Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group were parked off the coast. The pretext was clear.
Yo, this said, why do I even pay taxes? Why are you asking me, bro? You voted to put them in office. What are we talking about, bro? Y'all vote, we just keep... Actually, that's not true. You can't really vote on who's in the CIA, but you can vote on the nigga that appoint them.
Here, the U.S. designated the Venezuelan government a narco-terrorist state, specifically targeting the drugs lords. But while the Navy squeezed the coast, intelligence assets were tracking one man. They waited for a specific window, a moment where Maduro was stationary and vulnerable.
Talk about me?
Step 2, the strike. It began at exactly 2 in the morning Venezuelan Standard Time. High above, several F-35 stealth fighters punch a hole through the enemy lines, destabilizing
them running that mouth? I know that's right. Yeah.
Their anti-air defenses. Like these Russian S-300 missiles located all over the strategic high-value target. With the skies clear, the path opens for Delta Force helicopters to fly straight towards the mission. Here comes the deception as the helicopters flew. The jets started firing with more strikes as it hit Fort Tuna, the main military base and command center, and La Carlota Air Base, destabilizing Venezuelan air support. Reports from the ground describe widespread explosions and a sudden communications
That doesn't look
blackout.
like an air shirt. That looks like a
building. Chaos wasn't the goal, it was the cover. But how did the raid happen? We have to look at step 3. Under the cover of darkness and chaos, the Tier 1 operators went to work. But what is the exact unit tasked with the mission? It is the Delta Force, one of the most elite secretive special forces units in the U.S. military. Witnesses in Caracas reported low-flying aircraft skimming the rooftops, flying well below radar coverage. The team reached a secure compound believed to be a safe house within the massive Fort Tuna complex. Resistance from the Venezuelan Presidential Guard was swift but ultimately futile, as the helicopters lay cover fire. The operators moved with surgical speed, landing on multiple points. But how exactly the capture and extraction happened? For this, let's look at step 4. Specialized helicopters hovered over the objective to insert the assault team. While dozens of attack helicopters laid down suppression fire, the Delta Special Forces descended and started the search for the high-value targets. How did they find him? Simple.
Wow.
The CIA had planted spy inside Nicolas Maduro close circle. While back in the U.S., Delta Force built an exact replica of his safe house, rehearsing the raid until they could do it blindfolded. While operators breached the room so fast, his security could not even react to the situation as the sound of flash grenades disoriented the security guard. Using blowtorch, they caught him before he could even lock all the doors. Maduro's shock and awe froze him as Delta Force breached the compound. Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, were physically secured. This wasn't a negotiation. They were detained and immediately moved to the extraction point. These aircraft are capable of performing urban extractions from buildings and refueling in midair. Within minutes, they were airborne, leaving Venezuelan airspace and heading to a secure floating staging base.
Only 30 soldiers went?
This Operation Southern Spear has changed the geopolitical map of South America overnight. But wait before after the extractions, there were reports of F-35 jets also leading the tip of the spear for the attack. We'll look how the United States used F-35 jets instead of F-16s for operations in Venezuela, because this is a well-organized and militarized Venezuela has positioned advanced Russian S-300 missile systems, Chinese radar networks, integrated Russian air defenses, and Shahed drones along its borders.
A Shahed drone?
This creates a highly lethal and challenging environment that older S-16s would struggle to survive. As stated, around 150 aircrafts and a massive 8 U.S. destroyers were stationed there. It also has 3 amphibious aircraft carrier and surveillance plane to turn it into a massive command and control juggernaut capable of overcoming a modern military's air defenses. Signals a readiness to counter Venezuela's entire air defense network if necessary. But why Venezuela Air Force failed to intercept? As of 2025, Venezuela's fighter jet fleet consists mainly of approximately 21 Sukhoi Su-30 multirole fighters delivered by Russia between 2006 and 2008, which now form the backbone of their combat air power. Additionally, they maintain about 5 operational F-16 Fighting Falcons from an older batch, including...
Bro, when America wants something like, nigga, realistically, what are you supposed to do, bro? You might as well just give that nigga up. There's no point of fighting, bro. You're just gonna get... Niggas is gonna die. They have all type of aircraft carriers. Like, what are you... Like, James, like...
3 single-seat S-16 as and 2 two-seat S-16Ds. These S-16s are aging and suffer from limited maintenance and part support due to U.S. sanctions, although they have been supplemented with Israeli upgrades. Venezuela acquired its F-16 jets from the United States through a foreign military sales agreement called Peace Delta in May 1982, during a period of good diplomatic and military relations.
I don't know much about the military, but
they were the first
from
Latin
2008
American
don't sound like it's going to compete with F-35.
with deliveries occurring between 1983 and 1985.
Nigga, what?
The reason the U.S. does not use F-16s in current operations is because these jets lack the stealth capabilities necessary to evade the S-300 and other integrated defenses. The advanced S-300V or anti-2500 systems, supported by dense Chinese and Russian radar, can easily detect and target older aircraft at long ranges. Sending F-16s into such an environment would result in high attrition risks, as they are vulnerable to radar detection and missile engagement. Not to forget the Russian Buk air defense system that can take out an S-16 with ease. These are cheap R-15 or 24 Buk systems are already active and mobile all over the country.
Like that?
Additionally, F-16s are less effective in contested airspace saturated with drones, especially the Iranian Shahed drones used by Venezuela for reconnaissance and kamikaze strikes. The F-35, however, offers crucial advantages. Its stealth design enables it to fly undetected or with much lower risk, making it effective against advanced surface-to-air missiles and networked radar systems. Its sensor fusion, electronic warfare, and data link capabilities allow it to simultaneously suppress and target mobile and fixed air defense positions, adapting rapidly to counter Russian and Chinese radar configurations.
Why don't they do this anytime they want a nigga caught? Why not?
While the aircrafts took out the anti-air defenses Venezuelan military as a whole, this allowed the CIA and special forces to advance towards its target. The overwhelming presence of advanced Russian, Chinese, Iranian, and indigenous air defense and drone systems on the Venezuelan border means that the stealth fighter jets, or the first wave of attack, provide both the survivability and strike capability required for such operations. But how do they rotate clockwise? Well, the distance from Puerto Rico to Venezuela is about 1,300 kilometers. This is roughly 810 miles, which translates to around 1.5 hours of flight time for an F-35 flying at high subsonic speeds. These jets rotated clockwise an F-30 miles, which translates to around 1.5 hours of flight time for an F-35 flying at high subsonic speeds. These jets rotated clockwise as its combat radius is approximately 770 miles, meaning it can reach most of Venezuela from Puerto Rico with careful fuel management and limited loitering. To extend mission time and reach deeper inland, air-to-air refueling tankers deployed strategically in the Caribbean region support these operations. In situations requiring strikes within minutes, U.S. amphibious assault ships equipped with F-35Bs can launch jets rapidly. From such ships positioned in the Caribbean, F-35Bs can reach
These
Venezuelan
niggas is
targets within roughly 15 to 10 minutes.
Hey, have you ever wondered what they spend all their defense budget on?
Targets
They gotta
typically
be these
include
right here,
narco
gang.
traffickers' networks.
Whoa, what do you mean they got jets on an aircraft carrier sitting outside the coast of your country? You're cooked. Say goodbye, bro. There's nothing you can do.
Command centers,
Just accept
and drone
it, bend over, and just take
enabling
it.
flexible
not
sea-based
shit you
strike
can do, bro.
options against both Venezuelan military and criminal infrastructure. In essence, the F-35 deployment by the U.S. near Venezuela redefines military capabilities in the region. It combines stealth, advanced sensors, electronic warfare, and networked operations to overcome
So check that aircraft carrier. That's like the type of shit AIM would have been on, huh? Because AIM was in the Navy. That's some Navy shit.
Against a broad spectrum of
and then this is
targets
some
in
Air
Venezuela.
Force shit.
This reflects a strategy that goes beyond counter-narcotics to deter and, if necessary, decisively counter the Venezuelan military threat. We also made a deep dive
So how
into
about
the sea,
the Delta
air,
Force?
and land
What
components of the nuclear
faction of the
triad.
military are they part of?
Subscribe for more videos to not miss a beat.
All Navy, huh? Even the people that's on the fighter jets, that's Navy, huh? Joint Ops. Delta Force is Army. Fascinating, bro. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, American niggas, bro. Like your country's so fascinating, and you don't even realize it because you just grew up around it. But it's so different than how like every other country operates, bro. Like the amount, like it's when you think about how much gets spent on the military. For a country that's not directly ever involved in conflict, unless they're doing shit like this, god damn, bro. That was smooth, bro. I remember when they was trying to find Osama bin Laden for like a decade. Comparatively, this was very smooth.